is just a short little video talking about how the main character is feeling. Remember last week we talked about actions. This week we are talking about feelings. As I talked about in the instructional video, actions and feelings have a correlational relationship. That means that one of them affects the other. Typically, people act how they are feeling. So first there's an emotion, and that brings about an action. So let's go ahead and read this story and see if we can identify what the main character or other characters in the story are feeling. This is the cover of the book. This is the back of the book. This is the spine of a book. When I open up a book, do I open it up from the back like this? No, you open up a book from the front. Very good. When you read, do you read from left to right or right to left? You read from left to right. When you read, do you read from top to bottom or from bottom to top? You read from top to bottom. The title tells us what the story is going to be about. The title of this book is The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. We can use the context clues such as the illustrations and the title to tell us, again, what the story is going to be about. This is the true story of the Three Little Pigs, but there is a picture of a what on the cover? Good, that's a wolf. It says that it is as told by Jon Scieszka. I think I pronounced his last name correctly. As told by Jon Scieszka, that means that he is the author of the book. The author is the one who writes. It also says illustrated by Lane Smith. The illustrator is the one who draws the pictures. All right, let's go ahead and read this story. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves can eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think that you were a big bad wolf too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. He says this is the real story. Way back in once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold and I ran out of sugar. Oh my goodness gracious. How do you think he's feeling right now? He says that he had a really bad cold. When you feel sick, how do you feel? Yeah, you might feel tired. You might feel angry that you're sick. I think he probably feels the same way. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. That means he wasn't very smart. He had built his whole house out of straw. What? Who does that? Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into somebody's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. That's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. I huffed. I snuffed. Achoo! I sneezed a great big sneeze. And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down, and right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner laying there in the straw, so I ate him up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger just lying there. So the wolf ate. That was the action that he did. Oh, no, sorry. That was my dog. The wolf ate. That was the action that he did. What do you think he was feeling before he ate? I would say he was feeling hungry. Oh, boom. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not by much. He had built his house out of sticks. Oh my goodness. I rang the doorbell on the stick house. Ding dong. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf. You can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin chin. What do you think the pig's feeling right now? Probably scared, right? A big bad wolf's knocking on his door. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I snuffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great big sneeze. Achoo! And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. I think that's how the wolves do. Wolf's honor. What do you think the wolf's feeling right now? Talk about it with your parents. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full, but my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar from my dear old granny's birthday. If he still doesn't have the cup of sugar, what do you think the wolf's feeling? Probably a little sad, right? He really wants a cup of sugar for dear old granny, but he doesn't have it. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and the second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what the rude little porker said? Get out of here, wolf! Don't bother me again! How do you think the wolf felt after he was spoken to like that? How would you feel if somebody yelled at you and said, don't bother me, leave me alone? Probably a little sad. What do you think the pig was feeling before he said that? If a wolf came and knocked at his door, he was probably really scared, and that's probably why he yelled at the wolf. See how his emotions brought about his action? Oh. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he won't give me one little cup. For my dear sweet old granny's birthday, what a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday cake instead of, a birthday card instead of cake when I felt my cold coming on. Oh no, I huffed and I snuffed and I sneezed once again. Then the third little pig yelled, and your granny can sit on a pin. Oh no, what do you think the pig felt when he said that? He probably felt angry, and that's why he yelled at Mr. Wolf, right? Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. In other words, the pig was mean to Mr. Wolf, so Mr. Wolf felt angry. Because he felt angry, let's see what action he does. When the cops drove up, of course I was trying to break into Mr. Pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and achoo and sneezing and making a real bad scene. And the rest of it is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe could you loan me a cup of sugar? The end. Does the end mean the story is just beginning or all done? Very good. The end means the story's all done. Good job, guys.